Peace and blessings, everyone. Peace and blessings. Let's just greet everyone. The universal greetings of peace. Oh, you have echo. Okay. Peace and blessings, everyone. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to the On Point Weather Report. It's been a while. I am Imam Bilal Hassan. Welcome again. For you, those who are tuned in, we ask that you share this live stream and to your friends and family this evening. And we also are going to do some discussion tonight, briefly with everyone. As promised, we have some great news and announcements to share. And we would like to give everyone the good news, as always. And hope everyone had a great holiday observance for those who observe the Thanksgiving holiday. We hope that you had a great observance this past weekend or just spending time with family and friends. So we hope that you had that opportunity to do that this past weekend. Tonight, we're going to be having a brief conversation with you all in reference to what potentially is on its way in the next few hours, a couple of hours, for those in the Northeast New England region, first bout of winter precipitation. It is something that has already occurred in other parts of the country already, and we would like to give everyone a heads up as to what to expect. So before we do that, we're going to make sure that we are sharing this live stream to everyone as we speak so we can maximize the information being shared to everyone tonight. So we're going to make sure that everyone is in the know that we are live. And I ask you to do the same as well. If wherever you're tuned in from, we ask that you share what's the live stream so everyone can be in the know as to what is going on in the weather department as it impacts us in our everyday life. So we try to stay on point with preparation. We try to stay on point with information and proper information dissemination, which is crucial, especially in this day and age where we live in a microwave, fast paced, social media, tech driven society where information is disseminated. And sometimes information that's disseminated is over exaggerated or it is not 100% accurate. So we try to stay on point on this platform and give everyone a sense of accuracy as it relates to what's happening in the weather department, and any kind of information that we disseminate on this platform. We try to make sure that it is accurate to the best of our abilities. On the top left corner of the screen, not this left, the other left corner, you will see a QR code. That is, and almost all will be shared in the comment section for those to subscribe to our new platform that we have out. And that's what I'm doing actually right now is sharing this information to our audience about our new platform that we have. Okay. We do have a new platform and we want to make sure that everyone has access to the platform to utilize it as much as possible. And to take advantage of the opportunity presented. All right, good. So yeah, we have a new platform and we are asking those who are listening now and listening later to tap into the platform, and we'll post it in the comment section on the screen, the link to the platform. We'd like to make sure we can galvanize as much support for the platform as possible. The On Point Weather Report platform is live. And we post the link in the comment section there. Boom. For those who are watching from wherever you are. Shout out to Roy for tuning in. Actually, Roy was one of On Point Weather Report's first patron or first subscriber to the channel. And so shout out to Roy for that. We really appreciate his support going back to our Link University days on the campus. So definitely we appreciate his support and being the first person to subscribe to the Patreon channel. And that could be you. That could very well be you to subscribe to the channel so you can get firsthand information first. Right now, we are reaching out to everybody so we can galvanize and pull people into the platform. Eventually, we will be just going straight to the platform. That's it. That's the goal, is try to go straight to the platform. Right now, we're branching out to the larger audience, friends, family, and asking everyone to come to the platform to support it. You can sign up for free, just test it out, how you like it. Or you can go into the first tier, which we put out, which is $5 a month for the people. So we'll get right into it, because we have some things to talk about tonight. And one of those things is, as we said, snow on the way for some people. Some people are not going to get it. We saw some significant snow in the Midwest region a couple of days ago. Chicago got about 9 inches of snow for their first accumulating snowfall event of the season. Mind you, winter is not officially doesn't start yet, but late fall, so they're at their first accumulating snow of the season. Now we're talking about what could potentially happen in the Northeast and New England region come tomorrow. So right now we're going to share some information with everyone. I'm going to share my screen somewhat tonight, so you get to see some information as well. And I think a lot of people were excited about those, especially those in the business, or for some of us who like snow just because, and then those who just like it because they have a business that they run, that they have operation. Like Roy has a business and that relies on the fact that, hey, we need to have snow in order to make money. You need to have some winter precipitation. Okay, so we'll get right to it tonight. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go straight to some information tonight, and answer any questions that you all may have in relations to what's going to happen over the next few days, over the next 24 hours rather. So while I pull up some of the things I would like to show you all, and don't forget to make sure that you are sharing this information to your friends and family so they can tune in as well. All righty, let's share our screen and pull this out, make this one screen if we can. Yeah. Okay, there we go. All right, we're going to share our screen now, and boom. Okay, so shout out to our good friends at Tropical Tidbits. This is another platform that's open source platform that we use to access some of the computer models that are important. We don't need that right now. So hopefully everyone can see the screen. If everyone can see the screen, that would be good. If you can see the screen and follow along here, what we're saying tonight of benefit. So, okay. Now, I gotta, let me see, make this maybe a little bit bigger. Okay, I need to go up on this, and it's not letting me do that. 1 second. It's acting, give me a little problem. While we give that up. Where did it go? All right, so let's go back and bring that back up one more time. Okay, stop sharing that. And then we're going to reshare again one more time. All right, we're going to reshare one more time. Here we go. No. And we do that. Okay. All right. So let's get to it. So this is the American model of the GFS model, which is one of the models that we rely upon to give us some information in regards to what's happening on the upper levels of the atmosphere. I'm going to try to see if we can pull this down a little bit. And it won't let me do that. Hopefully everyone can see the full screen. We're going to move this down. Oh, man. Hopefully can everyone see the screen? Yep. Okay, let me just make sure. Okay, very good. Okay, so we're gonna move this up a little bit in time. You see a storm that's coming out on the bottom of your screen down in the southern Gulf Coast, southern states of Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee. We have a storm that's coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. And it's taking shape, and that storm will gradually move towards the coast. As you see at the northern fringe, Ohio Valley, heading towards West Virginia into Kentucky, into the Pennsylvania, upstate New York. This is all winter precipitation, all snow. We have cold air in place to make it all snow for that part of the country, right? And of course, where it's warmer is rain. That's the problem right now. We don't have ample enough cold air coming down closer to the coast. And we have the Atlantic Ocean, which is with the wind direction coming from the Atlantic Ocean, is still warm. We still have water temperatures that are in the 50s, so that's going to create even towards coastal and even inland areas. So keep the temperatures mild above that 32-degree range, which will just spell out plain rain for most all of New Jersey, for the most part, maybe exceptions for the northern extreme northern portion of New Jersey, but basically all of New Jersey, all of Delaware, DC, Maryland, DC, Baltimore, basically all of Virginia, and up into Long Island, New York City, all rain. Up into this New England portion, which is very interesting because that's where you have that cold air that's kind of still in place to give some sort of winter precipitation. So it's like we're in the fringe zone area for some parts of New England. So the GFS keeps it all rain again for New York City. Parts of southern central Connecticut will probably stay more than likely rain, and then to the extreme northern portion of the state, going into the extreme northern portion or the central western portion of Massachusetts, is going to be some snow there, and of course all snow upstate New York, up the Hudson Valley, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. Looks to be a nice event there. Boston's on the fringe too, but Boston may turn over to snow more likely on the back end as cold air wraps in and the wind direction changes as it pulls the cold air down behind the storm as it pulls away and exits, and that rain changes to snow. In Boston, all rain towards the Cape and Nantucket for going into Wednesday. But by Wednesday, clears out for the majority of everyone except for, again, the extreme northern portion of New England. So that's on the GFS model. The other models that we have, which are the Canadian model, which kind of shows almost a similar trajectory as we moved it up. Yeah, almost similar. The Canadians basically in agreement with the American model. The European, you see, I don't think we have, again, there's always a issue with the European model in terms of access to it. But even the European model was, from what I saw earlier, was in agreement. On the mesoscale, if we look at some of the short range models, which are not too accurate until they get into the short range in terms of time. And as you see, they're every hour. So this is not really in range yet, but even those would more than likely put out the same output. So we're going to stop sharing. I'm going to stop sharing this screen and go into more of a granular setup in terms of accumulations for New England. We're really going to talk about New England because that's where you're going to see snow in New England and up the Hudson River Valley. So we're going to pull up some of those that data so you can see snow accumulations for the New England region. I'm going to change the screen and stop sharing that screen and share another screen in just a second because that will give us the what we'll need to look at in a second. But I will stop sharing this screen here and take a look at the questions, if there are any questions coming in as we look at the accumulations for New England. But New England's, like I said, Connecticut is on that fringe, Roy. Connecticut is on that fringe for some people who will get versus some people who will not get. And that's the battle zone between where that cold air sets up and stays in place versus where, like I said, like southern Connecticut is definitely going to stay rain for the most part for the storm here. That's not coming out to what I like. So let's do Hartford, for instance. Let's type in, yeah, let's do that. Let's be a little more granular. I want to get so let's say, for instance, let's take Hartford, Connecticut, for instance. So Hartford, Connecticut, for instance, will start out with some freezing rain, ice in the morning, because we'll see that some of that cold air that we explained started what they call damming. It starts to linger a little bit in the upper levels of the atmosphere, so where it falls. So it's cold on the upper levels, it's below freezing several thousand feet up, and it may start out as snow very at the high levels of the atmosphere, but when it comes down from into our to the immediate are like the sidewalks and the grassy surfaces, the streets and different things like that, that's when you have what we call sleet or freezing rain. Or if it's just plain snow, obviously, if it's cold enough on all levels of the atmosphere to come down as snow, just purely, or as just purely rain. So what's happening is that Hartford, for instance, will start out as freezing rain, but in the morning, but then it will quickly change over to just plain rain in the afternoon as the temperature hits 36 degrees, which takes it above the freezing point, and then might end with a mixture of rain and snow in Hartford, for instance, right? So that's Hartford, Connecticut. Let's take another city, for instance. Let's take Bridgeport. Right? Let's take Bridgeport. A city like Bridgeport, southern Connecticut, right? All rain, like we explained, like I said, all rain. Southern Connecticut, nothing. We get nothing from this. Purely nothing. 40 degrees, you gain all rain, and in the night, it will change. Might not even change over. It's just going to finish as plain rain for Bridgeport. So Bridgeport, Hartford, Connecticut, all rain for the tomorrow situation. Roy, where you at in Connecticut exactly again? You're not closer, not New Haven, is it? or Bridgeport. It's not Bridgeport. Was this year the La Nina week, which means not a strong winter? Great question. I think that will be probably our next discussion, because that requires a little more conversation involving what is a La Nina, what is El Nino, a La Nina winter, or La Nina, what is it? And atmospherically speaking, what is El Nino atmospherically speaking, as what is the setup for both, and what does that mean for um, America and even the world as a whole, because it has a lot of impacts, not just here, but everywhere else as well. And when we also think about that too, we think about trends. So we think about El Nino, La Nina as well, but we also think about this thing called the Northern Arctic Oscillation, the NAO index, and these other indexes that talk about the blocking pattern in Greenland, which is another important factor we talk about in wintertime, with the cold air seeping down from Greenland all the way down to the Arctic, all the way down to Canada, and eventually a piece of that comes off and comes down into the States. That's also very important. What's happening in Greenland is also very important as to what happens down here. So there's actually quite a few factors that play an important part into what a winter looks like, especially here in the Northeast and New England region, as we talk about how much cold air, how much of a cold winter do we have, and then how active a storm track we have as well, or a favorable storm track to bring snow into this portion of the country. So there's a lot of other factors that go into that. And then there's another study that was done about the last time we had, I believe, was a La Nina, El Nino, where we had a very active hurricane season, of extremely active hurricane. This was several years, more than 10 years ago. I forgot the year of the winter. I found an interesting article about the correlation between hurricane activity and winter. So there's also another kind of trend correlation between an active hurricane season. What does that mean for winter, and et cetera. So there's quite a few different pieces. We had an active hurricane kind of after hurricane season, but we didn't have a landfalling major hurricane hit the United States this season. We've seen what happened in the Caribbean, obviously, with Jamaica and Haiti and the Dominican Republic, but a lot of those storms remained out there. So we didn't really have a major hurricane hit the States this season. So that's another interesting portion of study. But also for Bridgeport, to answer the question about Bridgeport in specific, and I think it's no different. Bridgeport, I believe, is no different than what's happening in Hartford, Connecticut, right? So Bridgeport, for instance, again, all rain. We're talking about 40 degrees, plain rain tomorrow, going into tomorrow night, and then eventually clearing out. So for the snow weenies, we call it snow lovers, snow weenies. People, for us, this is a bummer. Obviously, we get nothing from this. People even in Boston might end again as some snow in Boston, but even Boston is starting out all rain, and it might end with some snow in the city of Boston. But if we go to Albany, for instance, the capital here of the state of New York, and we look at what Albany is going to experience, Albany is going to get all snow, and we're talking several inches, at least 3 to 5 inches of snow in Albany. So anything above the Hudson River, anything above the Hudson, going up towards Fishkill and Terrytown, Fishkill, Beacon, all the way up the Hudson River, looks to be good to get several inches of snow from this system. And then, like I said, in Vermont and New Hampshire for the skiers, you can get some fresh powder from this system. And we hope for a good ski season for those who like skiing. Get some natural snow up in here. So, New Hampshire, you'll get a couple inches. Actually, up in parts of New Hampshire, we'll get at least 5 to 8 inches of snow from this system to start out with maybe additional a couple of inches in the night. So we could have talk about at least 8 inches of snow or so up in the ski country. So if you like skiing and you want some fresh powder, wait a couple. This storm will get some fresh powder, lay some fresh powder down, and maybe uh, wait a month or two to get some more fresh powder in there. But yeah, bummer for us for this worst storm system. Um, we'll come back to talk about what the trends are looking like behind this storm system, what potentially the winter looks like. There was a post that was going on online about this season is supposed to be a snowy season. The social media was sending this picture around, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's going to be snow a lot." Don't know where they pulled that from. To be honest with you, I don't know if it was the Farmer's Almanac or not, but we what we try not to do is there's a lot of people who tend to get very zealous about storms like this, and then they just get super excited, and then things come out online is just like crazy stuff about accumulations, snowfall accumulations a week before the storm. Nobody does that, and at least nobody who's sane does that, because it's just not sustainable, and it's not really accurate. So we try not to do that here because this is not a good practice. We try to want to give somewhat a more accurate account as to what's going on before people start getting too excited and then believing into the hype, as they say. So um, this winter potentially, hopefully, might be a stormy one or a cold one. We shall see. We're going to talk a little bit more of the next live that we do. We're going to explain El Nino, La Nina in a little more detail. And we're going to talk about the North Atlantic or North Arctic, the Northern Arctic Oscillation, the NAO. We'll talk about those indexes. We'll talk about what's happening in Greenland a little bit. So that'll be more extensive. So we'll put out the information as to when that live is going to be, and people can prepare yourself to tune in for that and take note, or just to ask questions, because that's really going to be the driving factor as to what's happening this winter. All right. And what we can expect for the rest of the season. um I'm hoping that we get more activity. This last couple of years has been very hit and miss in terms of snow. I would like to see us a good snowstorm for once. We haven't had that in a little while for a lot of folks here in this region. We have had seasons where we had great snow years, and now we in the lean. See what we in the lean years. So, and again, we have to look at the trends too, because there were linear years prior, and we look back at the history books. So, and then if we look at the patterns and what happened in those lean years, and see if those were El Nino, La Nina winters, or what was the hurricane season like in those lean years, and you start looking at trends, and then you start piecing together. Okay, those were lean, and then you had that break, and then you had a couple years later you had a more stormier season, colder season. So it's all about trends. Nothing of this is very predictable to 100% science. Everything is subject to what God, Mother Nature, however you interpret that, goes. So we try our best to give the more accurate account to that effect. Other than that, this was meant to be very short tonight, but again, the patron or the patron, but more so I call it the platform that we are on, is going to be the home to a lot of content. So a lot of weather related content. We're going to be talking culture. We're going to be talking different things too. We'll plan to have some products to disseminate as well for sale eventually, and also some other things for information purposes or educational purposes as well. So we're going to try to do some different things on the platform as we build community on the platform, and I welcome everyone to the community. Again, on the left corner of your screen, you'll see a QR code there. You can scan that link, and that will bring you to the Patreon, or the platform rather. And then also in the comment section, there is the link as well for those who want to join the platform. And now it's time to get into the platform. Now will be a great time. Roy's in the platform. My good friend Dr. Marcus Lambert is in the platform. I have a brother named Elijah who joined the platform. So there's a couple of people who joined the platform. I thank them for joining the platform early because, again, those people get in early. There's some specials, and we're going to do some different things for the earlier supporters of the platform. But that's why if you get in now, you get to be part of that crew, or that core group of On Point Weather Report circle of supporters, right? So again, thank you for tuning in tonight for this brief discussion. We'll have try to we'll work out a schedule for our lives as well, and we're going to pick those up, pick up the pace with that. We're going to make some educational things in here. We might see some surprise guests come up in here as well. Some surprise guests as we build out the platform. We'll get some guests to come on as well, and we can really expand our conversations more as well. And then we welcome you all's input. That's one thing about the community we want to build is a community-driven platform, and we want the community to ask questions. We want the community to, engage in the platform as much as possible. This platform is built for us, by us. Again, this is not a hobby. This is beyond a hobby for me. Something that's very dear to my upbringing as well. And we're going to actually explore. You're going to actually get to know me more for those who don't, and for those who know, just to get a little bit more. I won't say personal, but a little more personal. Thank you, Roy, for your support. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you for sure, 100%. We're gonna get a little more personal with you and share a little bit more about our story and our journey, and how and where we came from, where I came from to where I am now, and where I want to go, in this journey as well. So we appreciate the support tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. For those who are going to be listening later, definitely subscribe to the platform. Get in now, as again we are broadcasting broadly, but at some point, as we build out the platform, we'll just be on the platform. That's eventually the goal, is to try to center everything on the platform and make it for just the platform users, and then that content for the greater audience who are not part of the platform will be made available later for them on a later date. But for those who are on the platform, we want wa alaikum assalam, brother Abdul Rashid. Thank you for tuning in. We want to get them on the platform as well. So we're not just going to be talking about Northeast and New England weather. We are going to be talking, as the future lives, about all the regions of the country, what's going on in the United States, weather-wise, in other parts of the country, and also any international. We're going to be talking travel. I know everyone likes to do traveling. I can't wait to travel outside the country for the first time soon. I know people like to travel. I know Carnival is a big thing, a big event. I know just other cultural events that's happening internationally and domestically. We will have exclusive content forecasts just for that purpose, right? So, but if you're part of the platform, you get access to all that content: travel, cultural events, major cultural events, big events, conferences, etc. Things like that, things that happen culturally that a lot of people tend to travel to or towards, and you want to be prepared for wherever you're going to go and whatever that weather looks like where you get there. So that's going to be something that we're going to bring to the platform as well, and a host of other things too. So just we ask for your support and ask you just to hit the subscribe button. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your evening, your rest of your Monday evening, and wherever you are in the world, Have a great rest of your day, morning, afternoon, or night. And we will see you all soon on the On Point Weather Report platform. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And thank you all for the support. Thank you all for watching. And until next time, peace and blessing.